Buddy, this is Brian back with another Kaspa update here. I hope everybody's having a great day. Beautiful Sunday where I'm at, but we're going to look into this chart here. Obviously, we got this breakout from this daily resistance here. All right, we're going to take a look at the price movement and break it down into some smaller time frames here. All right, want to take you around the market here real fast and show you what's going on with everything else. This is the crypto bubbles. This is on the daily. Not a lot of green out there, obviously. Not big losses either. It looks like if you go out on the week, you can see a lot of these coins are starting to bounce back. Look at Kaspa there, plus 33%. That's beautiful. So things are looking up here. After the Binance scare, I think everything's starting to calm down here. All right, and if we zoom into the hourly, you can see here Kaspa having a little bit of a pullback here. But let's move on here. Let's get back to these. I want to show you guys a few of these charts real quick that we keep an eye on every time we do these videos. The first one is Bitcoin dominance. Okay, I want to show you that wedge that it broke out of. Okay, it ended up back testing up here, and looks like this thing wants to move higher. So if we move into here on a 4-hour time frame, good thing to keep an eye on. We can put a trend line on this thing, and that way we know if this thing is changing direction or something. So we'll put that in there, and then we'll check back on it next video we do here. But right now that thing keeps climbing up. So Bitcoin dominance, if you're not familiar with that, the higher the Bitcoin dominance goes, the more of the market cap Bitcoin takes out of the whole market. So here's Bitcoin itself. It's still in that wedge, that falling wedge formation. It's getting to the top of that wedge now. All right, this is on the 4-hour chart. We zoom in here. All right, now if you watch these videos, these Kaspa videos, we talk about 5 waves up. A lot of times we use this trend-based Fibonacci tool. So if this is the one wave here for Bitcoin, all right, then the pullback, this thing would this would give it a breakout of the upside of the wedge here. Okay, now you can see it's having a pullback here right now as we're doing the video, but this sure looks like a 5-wave up to me. If you see, this would be your 1, 2, your 3 up here, and this 4. This thing could pull back. It could pull back the whole way to the very top of this one wave. If it breaks down below that, then this whole thing is negated. But if it gets that 4th wave pullback and hopefully gets that bounce out of here, so Bitcoin's definitely looking good. If we look at the RSIs on this thing, let's move this one down a little bit so we got more room here. We use the stochastic a lot for these videos. If we go out to the daily, you can see Bitcoin still has some room up there on the daily. So the daily RSI is up at a 90 and a 67. So definitely got some more upside potential for it. We're waiting for that breakout of this thing. And of course, if you watched the last video, you know how I feel about this 31,500. If we can break above that, I really think we're going to have a really nice run in this market. So let's take a look at the Dow Jones real quick. We're just going to glance over this real quick, and obviously we're still having that breakout. This is on the weekly chart. Okay, it has a price target of way up here. What was it, 42, 4,300. So that's the measured move of this breakout of this wedge. So that is definitely looking good right now for the markets. The Dixie, let's take a look here. Okay, you can see that thing is still breaking down. All right, the weekly RSI, you can see, is on its way down, which is good. I'm not rooting for the dollar to collapse. I'm just hoping it goes down just a little bit so crypto can run here. All right, if we look at the daily RSI is reset, so this thing could get a bounce this week. We still have that. Let me get my arrow here. We had this high here, and we had this lower high. So that technically is a downtrend. This bounce here, we'll keep an eye. If we put a Fibonacci on it, usually this thing will retrace up to the 618,702, somewhere right around there. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. If it gets through, let me get rid of this other one on here so we can see this. If it gets through this 786, I would think this thing is going to head higher. So we'll watch for this this area, right? Let me mark this off real quick. Okay, we're right through here. And here we want to see this thing stall out and roll back over. Alright, so that's the DXY. If we move down through here, there's Kaspa. The S&P 500, of course, that thing is still chugging along. Boy, it just keeps going higher and higher. So there you go. You can get a good look at that thing. You can see the weekly RSIs getting high on this thing, but it's definitely looking good. If we take and we put a fib on this, because these Fibonacci's, I just love these things. And if you would, please subscribe and like the video. I would appreciate that very, very much, guys. It's actually getting through that 786, so this thing could be heading for a you know, an all-time high here pretty soon. We're getting through that last Fibonacci level with this thing, so it's looking fantastic. Actually, the monthly. Let's take a look at the monthly RSI. That thing's still heading up, so this thing still has a lot of you know, gas in the tank, so they could definitely be heading for a new all-time high. Now these are the ones I'm getting excited about here. Okay, this total, we got to go out in the daily. This is the crypto total market cap, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything. All right, last time we did this video, we broke down out of this wedge. All right, and it ended up. If you remember, I said I hope this is a fake out. Well, it happened. We got the fake out. We're back up in this wedge pattern right in the middle of it. So that definitely helped out. All right, that Binance, the SEC with Binance, that thing came in right there. You know, crushed the market that day, and things weren't looking that great. Now, if we go to the other one, the total 2. Whoops, I apologize. There we go. This is the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin. You can see that thing is still down outside of this wedge. All right, this is on the daily chart. If we pull the RSI up here, you can see that daily RSI is just heading up. So that thing hopefully will get back in there. Hopefully that's another fake out, and this thing can get back up here and break out to the upside. That's what we really need to happen here, right? So that's the things I wanted to show you guys. Now let's take a look at Kaspa here, all right? On the daily. All right, let me get this off here. All right, obviously we had that breakout. We talked about these price targets to watch for. I have them marked off here at 0.02199. We actually poked our head up above that, okay? Then we ended up getting rolling over from it. We made it up through the 0.0197. You can see there. We ended up, let's zoom in a little bit on the 4 hours so we can see this. Okay, you can see we broke up through that. We ended up back testing it right here. It was off just a hair, actually. This line should have been about right there. You can see the back test as support. Now, you can see this flag wedge type pattern. We're starting to break down out of it. All right, even though that 4-hour RSI is on the floor, this thing is at the moment breaking down out of this wedge. So let's zoom in here a little bit. The 15-minute time frame. You can see it's just starting this breakdown. You know, it started at roughly a half hour ago before I started this video. I was watching this thing. I was hoping it was going to bust out of the upside there. I really wanted to get in a long position on this thing. And it could be a fake out, guys. You have seen the fake outs before. This is nothing that's going to be crushing, okay? You can see that 15-minute RSI is on the floor, so it's going to get a bounce back up here. Whether it gets rejected, whether this thing comes back up like this, it gets rejected off there and then continues down. We'll have to wait and find out. Obviously, I'll have the answer for that the next video we do. But let's get a measured move on this thing, all right? If it does break down, let's go to the hourly. Get a measurement of this wedge. Alright, we take it, take a measurement of this thing, put it down here. Alright, we'd be pulling back, you know, right around that 0.018 area, right down. We mark this off. Somewhere right down here, right where we have support right over here. All right, so if it does break down, watch for the 0.018 for support down. Actually, it could come the whole way to that 0.0178. All right, I am actually going to move that down here and count on that one more. That looks like a more stable support area. You can see it was support through here before we got this big bounce here. All right, now if this thing ends up reversing and heading out the upside, all right, then we're looking at up at 0.024 to 0.0244, right close up to our next resistance area at 0.0249. All right, that's the next big area. When we eventually do get up there, if we have this correction, we have it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just ride it out and wait for the thing to cool off a little bit. But let's look at these RSIs and see where they're at. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Again, look at these RSIs. First off, let's look at the higher time frames. The 12 is correcting. It's coming down here. It's at a 59 to 63. It's bearish right now, so that's pointing towards the downside. The 8-hour getting towards the bottom, but it's still bearish at 18 and 26. All right, but it's getting towards the floor. The 4-hour is on the floor. We just looked at that one. It's at a 15 and a 17. Now that hourly, that thing goes up and down all day. It's heading down right now, so my bet is in this thing probably breaking down. No big deal, just a correction. I can see us, like I said, coming down, back testing that as resistance, coming down here, going sideways maybe for a day or two before this thing starts its next leg up, hopefully. So let's look at that daily RSI. It is actually at the top and rolling over right now. It's at a 73 and an 83. All right, but that daily, I think, can get to the top and stay up there for a while. All right, you can see back through here, it can start correcting and then just whip right back up there, especially once these higher, the 12 and the 8, get reset. The weekly still looks fantastic. 4.65 and a 2.25, and that thing's got a long ways to go. This weekly is going to take probably a couple months to play out, so I would expect some really decent price action the next couple months out of this coin, especially with that weekly RSI on the floor like that, and just the whole structure of this coin. Everything is just looking great. We've had this massive wedge since we've talked about it a million times. March 27th. So we had April, May, half of June now, 2.5 months. And if you remember us reading that, the longer the pattern, time-wise, the bigger the breakout. So I believe this thing has a lot more legs left to it. As you can see, we have this big green weekly candle, which is fantastic, because two past ones prior to that we had red. So this thing's looking really good. We haven't had a green candle this big for quite a while, actually, since the whole way back here, with this big run here. So we'll see what happens with this thing. Let's zoom in a little bit closer here and see if we can, just want to see something here. Alright, we ended up getting a measurement off of this last time. I believe that this might have been your one wave. That would take us, maybe not. This one here came too low to be a one wave. You can retrace up to 98% of the, if this was our one wave starting up, you could retrace 98% down, but you can't go below the beginning of that wave one. So this one is definitely out. This could have been a wave one in here. Let's put that trend based fib on it. Up to the top, back to the bottom. Unless we overextended, which is very possible. So this thing, I would like I said, guys, I would expect a pullback, down to that 0.017, 0.018 area, unless this is a fake out and it heads up the other side. So I'll talk to you in a couple days, guys, and we'll see what happens after that. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for all the great support out there. I really love you guys. You guys make me want to do these videos. So thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.